So Elliot Wolf, during that press conference on Friday night, was talking about the pick at number 38. And, you know, he mentioned this healthy debate that he and the others had in the room, and then said something along the lines, I don't have the direct quote, but he said that whoever they were debating about in the room at 38 ended up getting picked. So it really didn't matter anyway. Greg, who was the mystery man they were debating? What have you been told?
So according to multiple league sources, the player that they were discussing was Arizona guard / tackle Jonah. Maybe you know how to pronounce this name. Savaiinaea. I don't know how to pronounce it. But anyways.
Savaiinaea.
Oh, wow. I wasn't even close. Savaiinaea?
Savaiinaea.
All right. Well, whatever. Anyways.
Savaiinaea.
Okay.
All right.
He was the guy. And the Dolphins happened to all of a sudden jump in front of the Patriots, sending, I think, a third-round pick to the Raiders. And they jumped in front of the Patriots and took them. So it's sort of like an interesting sliding doors, type of moment. I'm trying to look. So let's just say, so we know what the Patriots ended up with. They ended up with TreVeyon, Henderson. Who'd they take next? Was it Kyle Williams?
Yeah, it was at 69 was Kyle Williams.
Yeah. And then they took the center out of Georgia.
Jared Wilson. Yep.
Jared Wilson. So that's what the Patriots ended up. Now, let's just say that the Dolphins don't trade up, and the Patriots, instead of taking Henderson, they take Jonah, Big Jonah, from Arizona, which it makes a lot of sense that those were the two debates, because we talked about it going into day two, that basically you looked at the board and the way it fell. I figured they would go in some sort of order of offensive line, and we talked about the need. You and I both preferred a guard tackle type that could cover you in a couple different areas in case some things don't work out and what have you, like our guy from Ohio State, Donovan Jackson, who went in the first round. So it looks like the Patriots prioritized a guy like that. And so that makes sense. But just in case, let's say the Patriots do pick him. And so you get the Arizona guard tackle. He was a tackle at college. He projects to a guard in the pros. At 69, so they picked 69. I went with RJ Harvey, the UCF running back, who I really like, because I think the Broncos, if Henderson doesn't get picked by the Patriots, if it drops a little bit, I think the Broncos take Henderson at 60 instead of, they ended up taking Harvey. They were really hot on Henderson. And then 77.
Let me just jump in there for a second, because Bert mentioned this on Thursday night on NBC Sports Boston. The Broncos were at least contemplating drafting Henderson at, what was it, 20? I think it was 20 in the first round. So, yeah, you're right. They were reportedly, they really, really liked Henderson if they want running back there.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been surprised if they moved up to draft Henderson. And maybe the Patriots at 69 have a chance at RJ Harvey. Now, the Patriots traded down from 77, but with Jalen Noel staring them in the face, would they have done that? So the alternate draft with the Patriots, if the Dolphins traded up, are Jonah, RJ Harvey, and Jalen Noel. Which draft do you have? Which one do you prefer? I actually like the way it worked out for the Patriots. I like what they did, and they got the trade down at the same time and got Jared Wilson. I like the way it worked out for the Patriots. Would you have preferred the other path?
I'm okay with how it worked out. If Wilson could play guard, I'm okay with how it worked out. I do like the versatility that they would have had, and it would have made us look really smart, because again, we talked about Donovan Jackson and other guys. And this, I'm just going to put this up there. Okay, if you're watching, you're not going to probably be able to read it, but I want to make sure that people see that I have my computer right here. I got my computer right in front of the camera, and that's my Slack. And what I have highlighted is a comment that I typed up on Friday night, as soon as that Dolphins trade happened. And sometimes, Greg, you've gone through this, I'm sure. You have a thought, and sometimes you don't throw it out into the ether. And this could work either one of two ways. You could say, thank God I didn't tweet that out. I would have looked like an idiot. But sometimes, every once in a while, sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while. Sometimes you have this thought and you don't throw it out into the universe and you go, damn it. If I threw that out there days later, I might have looked like, I nailed that thing in real time. I knew what I was talking about, which of course gives you credibility, and that's important in our business. So when that trade happened, I told Greg before we jumped on to record this that I was typing up every pick throughout this draft because I'm a loser. And when we got to 37, I have 37 Dolphins in parentheses trade. And then I have Jonah. And the comment that I have after that, and I bolded this, and I didn't bring it up in my podcast, my Everything Pats podcast on Friday night. I didn't bring it up on Twitter, but I typed up, did they jump the Pats because they thought they were going to draft him? Mm-hmm. And that's what Greg is telling us. Yes, because I saw that it was weird to me that the Dolphins jumped up to draft a guard. It just seemed a little weird in the moment. And the fact that they jumped the Patriots, the division rival, made me think about it even stronger. And that the next, if you look at it, the next guard that was taken was Tate Ratledge at 57. Mm-hmm. And that was the Lions traded up to draft Ratledge. So that thought did cross my mind in real time. I just didn't throw it out there. So,
and I do think, like, if you're when the Patriots, when they sort of, take a couple days off and then come back and sort of self-scout themselves from the draft, I think, one of the points, and it's minor, it's not a big deal. This stuff happens, but, somebody's got to ask the question, how did the Dolphins know that we were so into this guy that they jumped us? Like, we need to kind of figure that out to get better for next year, that sort of thing.
I can't agree with you more. And it's interesting because Savaiinaea is, Dane Brugler had him ranked, as his fourth best guard, and he had him in his top 100 at 55. So him going 37 was a little bit earlier than most people thought he would go. So that even lends more credence to what you just said, Greg. How did the Dolphins know that at 38, the Patriots were looking at that guy who was ranked by a lot of people to be behind Ratledge, who went at 57? So the Dolphins got some really good intel from somebody, and who knows who that somebody was.